News Talk 820 WBAP now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. How about this? How would you like to take all these people that hate America, hate the Jews, hate Israel, seek to literally destroy it, to kill every Jew in the state of Israel, which is about 9.8 million Jews, more than half the world's population of Jews, by destroying Israel and wiping off the map from the river to the sea, which is exactly what it means. It means genocide. There is no genocide of Palestinian people. Their land mass has increased over the past few decades, and their population has increased. You can't have a genocide if people keep adding to the population. But we do know they want a genocide, and they're calling for it, and they have called it for since. I mean, just name your time frame to a genocide of the Jews. And so wouldn't you like to deport every non-citizen on these college campuses that is teaching their fellow schoolmates to hate Jews, to want to kill them, teaching them the ways of Hamas and terrorism and chanting for an intifada, wouldn't you? Which is a violent uprising. The intifada is when you bomb Jews innocently in a line at Hebrew University in Jerusalem. That was part of the intifada, killing about, I can't remember if it was 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 students in a cafeteria at a college. That's intifada. Blowing up Jews, including the homicide bomber at a bus stop or on a bus in Israel, is intifada. The October 7th terrorist attack on the Jews, breaking the ceasefire, raping, beheading, murdering, gang raping women, children, babies, is part of the intifada. That's intifada. So I want every one of the people who are not U.S. citizens, that are on student visas, that are here, that are not U.S. citizens, to be deported if they're involved in this. Deport them. Never to be able to come back. Deport them with prejudice. For example, the word with prejudice is a legal term that I learned when I was clerking for a law office a long time ago. That was my other option. I wanted to be a lawyer, and I still would like to be one day. But the intifada. Anyway, what I was trying to say, though, dismissing a case with prejudice it means you dismiss it and there's no chance to be able to reopen it with prejudice. I mean, it's gone, never can come back, period. They should be deported with prejudice. Never able to come back ever again. As a student, as a tourist, or as a green card holder, never, you're gone. And now, under a House Republican that is introducing a bill, and it's Beth Van Dyne, former mayor of Irving, who's a U.S. Congresswoman, and she does a great job. I'm a fan. She has now introduced new legislation that will deport any that will deport any foreign national charged with a crime at a pro-terrorism or anti-Semitic rallies anywhere in the United States. So they don't even have to be at a campus. They could be in downtown Dallas or in Los Angeles or New York, and to be charged with a crime, then they're out. And I think that's fantastic. She says that on American campus, the pro-Palestinian, which means pro-Hamas, demonstrators on campuses she claimed had promoted violence and extremism with college after college not responding. So she says this will allow these Jew haters and Israel haters and violence and extremism promoters to be kicked out of our country. We don't want them here. We don't want any of them here. So this new law that Beth Van Dyne has proposed and is filing for consideration will do that. It will kick them out of the country. And this is from Newsweek. So she introduced H.R. 8221 to amend the Immigration and Nationality Act with respect to the removable aliens who are charged with any crime related to their participation in pro-terrorism or anti-Semitism rallies or demonstrations. Absolutely. So Beth Van Dyne was asked about this. She says, we're not talking about people who are American citizens. Too bad, right? This is a bill that would trigger deportation of foreign nationals who are in America that are participating in these violent mob actions. They're committing crimes, including criminal trespass, failure to comply with the officer, resisting arrest, disturbing the peace. Really, what they're seeing is anarchists. What we're seeing here is anarchists who are trying to occupy college campuses. That's exactly right. So I think it's great, and I think it should be. Separately, Tom Cotton, a great senator from the great state of Arkansas, he introduced a no bailouts for campus criminal acts bill, which would bar those arrested during protests from Hamas, like what he termed as Hamas sympathizers, which is accurate, from receiving any student loan forgiveness. Oh my gosh, yes. Non-citizens, citizens, no, you don't get any forgiveness. You pay it all because you're a terrorist. Absolutely right. I think it's great. Absolutely great. Yes. How about you? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Would you like to deport the non-citizens who are protesting at college campuses, getting violent and spouting anti-Semitic, pro-terrorist slogans? I would. 800-288-WBAP is our number. That's 800-288-9227. Would you like to deport those non-citizens protesting at college campuses, getting violent and spouting anti-Semitic pro-terrorist slogans? 100%, I say. Hey, by the way, it's on my Twitter feed. I retweeted this tonight. You guys scroll a teeny bit down from the top of my Twitter feed at Chris Crock Show. That's at Chris Crock Show, CHRISKROK. But you will see that at UT Austin, there was an outdoor ceremony, I guess. I have, one of my good friends and one of my sponsors, Randy Martin from IRSProb.com. He's my CPA. Randy was at his son's UT graduation, but that was indoor at a stadium. This is a separate one. I don't know what this part was. Maybe he was at his son's department's graduation. I don't know how that works. But this was at Darrell K. Royal Stadium. I remember that from the late 90s when I was there. I was Big Brother and for Big Brothers Big Sisters, and I took my little brother to one of the games, and we baked in the sun. But we had fun. I almost died of heat stroke. Maybe not, but it felt like it. Pro-Palestinian students wearing kafayas during the UT Austin commencement ceremony get an unexpected surprise as a plane flies overhead at Dale K. Royal Stadium with a giant Israeli flag. And that is the absolute best thing you could ever see. I have it on my Twitter feed, just a few tweets down from the top. And it's got 1.4 million views, and you see the great state of Israel, their flag, the Star of David flag flying over Dale K. Royal Memorial Stadium with probably 50 to 80,000 people in it. God bless America, and God bless Texas. Amen. Okay, coming up next on the Chris Crock Show, this is going to be fun. A clerk for the grocery store, Trader Joe's? She does a TikTok post that tells all the things that she sees customers doing that are bad, and it's kind of an interesting backwards look at what she's complaining about. And what is it? It's a Trader Joe's worker revealing the common faux pas cashiers judge shoppers for. What are the worst things you see shoppers do? That's my question for you. What are the worst things you see fellow shoppers do at grocery stores that are rude, selfish, or mean? Because she's criticizing the shoppers. So I'll tell you what her top criticisms are as a longtime Trader Joe's checker, whatever you want to call it, checker outer. All right, not checking her out. She checks you out. Get out, not checking you. Get out of here. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. That's next. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. So, Trader Joe's worker reveals the common faux pas cashiers judge shoppers for. So here's the things that cashiers have a problem with that we do. I'll read you her list, but I also want to share one of my pet peeves, some of my pet peeves. And I want to put the question up for you right away. What are the worst things you see fellow shoppers doing at grocery stores that are rude, selfish, or mean? 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. Let me throw something out for consideration right away. Is it okay to handle the fruit or the vegetables? Handle it. Make sure it's not, what is it called? Bruised or starting to, what do you call it? Not rot, but fall apart, Like my cucumber, not moldy, but like just stale or whatever. I don't know what you call it. But basically, it starts to get soft. The vegetable, like red peppers, are a big thing I consume along with cucumbers, and sometimes they start to get soft after they're a little old, right? I have to pick them up and squeeze them. I don't lick them. I do sometimes, but usually I try not to lick them. But if I have to, I'll lick them. Just kidding. But I think it's okay to, dare I use the word, molest the produce. No moleste, no moleste. My wife and I always joke around with each other since we're married a couple of 25 years or something like that now. I don't even know anymore. It doesn't matter. It's too, we got another 25 years. We're in love. But what things are okay, what things are not okay. When I pick up the coffee, you have to understand something about the coffee. I tend to get Starbucks because it's the only one I really enjoy and never have a problem with. But you have to, even with Starbucks, sometimes you'll get a stale batch. Did you know that? You didn't know that? Here's what you got to do. I have a little secret on that. You pick up the bag. There's a little hole, a tiny little hole where they suck out the air or something like that on that, okay? If you squeeze it and put your nose right there where it is, it's a wrapper. It's not, so you're not like touching a produce with your nose or something. But you squeeze it and smell the air. People might look at you a little weird, but you can smell right away if it's fresh or if you don't smell something good like you're supposed to, like that really good coffee smell. Put it down and get the other ones, and just squeeze it until you get that air. That's how I test, because sometimes when my wife comes home with one that's a little stale, and I'm like, but it's 1 in 200, like 20 or something like that, 1 in 30 of them. So I usually just deal with it for it. But I can't stand people that walk in the exit when I'm walking out. You're leaving with your shopping cart full of groceries, and some chump, some loser, is walking through like a zombie into your area, and they're blocking, and they won't get out of the way. And I'm like, you literally, the sign above you says exit, and you know that, but you don't care. That's one of my pet peeves. You know what one of the biggest ones is? If you want to see humanity, go into any grocery store parking lot and look at the shopping carts, because that's humanity. If you're one of those people that doesn't take it right into the corral and put it in there and just shoves it or leaves it in between parking spaces, and I mean this, shame on you. You're pathetic, and you're a disgrace. You really are. You're a jerk, because that cart is blocking parking spaces for me or you or somebody. That cart can move and hit my car, and I don't get reimbursed. That's humanity, the laziness. I refuse to do that. I just do. I would never do. I won't leave it on an island like some jerk. That's the worst one for me. This lady says, hey, when we're looking at you in the checkout aisle, it's not because we like you. We're not flirting with you. We are judging you for not bagging your groceries or putting your cart back, says this Trader Joe's clerk. Now, some people were biting back at her saying, hey, man, you guys do you bag the groceries for us, so screw you. Listen, if I don't shop at Trader Joe's. I never have, actually. I'm not against them. I just don't have one by me. But if I wouldn't mind trying it. Trust me, one day I will, but there's nothing close enough where I'm not going to go, 20 minutes to go to a freaking Trader Joe's. But I'll tell you this. If they bag the groceries for you and that's normal, I'm going to wait for you to do it. I ain't going to do it. I'm paying for it. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. The question is, what are the worst things you see fellow shoppers doing at grocery stores that are rude, selfish, or mean? And if you want to talk from the cashier's perspective like this lady does in this news story, you certainly may. Tell us what we do that makes you mad. that you can't tell us directly to our faces. Chris in Dallas, you're on 820 AM and now 93.3 FM WBAP. Hello, Chris.
Hey, Chris. How you doing, sir?
Good, man. How are you?
Pretty good. Just here at work. So my thing is when people are on the phone while at the cashier.
Yes!
I think it's rude.
Yes! Dude, I will not do that. I will not do that to somebody. That is the epitome that's the epitome of trash.
Definitely. It's not just there. I see it like different places, not just the cash register, but even where I work, people do it when trying to deal with other customers.
Without getting into detail, because I don't want you to, I know you don't want us to know where you're working at, but what's the kind of place that you work at? Give us a vague idea of what.
Automotive sales.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So, no, because it's so rude and degrading and disrespectful to you. And then you got to ask them a question, or ma'am, do you want me to, ma'am, that's not on sale, or ma'am, do you want to, whatever. And they're like talking. And you're interrupting their conversation. They need to get the heck out of there. Same thing when you're at a drive-through, when you talk to the people. Same thing when, you know what, even at a grocery store in the aisles, do you want to hear some lady or man talking loudly as if you're right there and they're talking to you?
Definitely not.
No. I mean, are you there to make a conversation? Or if it's a quick something because your wife or someone's calling you and needs something, that's one thing. But if you're sitting there having a 5, 10 minute, 20-minute conversation, and I'm walking down the aisles and you keep coming into me in your aisles, I'm like, get out of my way. I don't want to hear you. I don't want to hear your conversation. You're an idiot and you're a jerk and you're inconsiderate. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, sir.
All right, take care, brother. 800-288-WBAP is the number, 800-288-9227. What are the worst things you see fellow shoppers doing at a grocery store that are rude, selfish, or mean? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. This shop, what do you call it? She's a worker there, the clerk at the Trader Joe's. She also talks about the fall items sold at Trader Joe's, the bane of our existence beginning in September. If fall items aren't for a customer, they can quickly turn to them for Trader Joe's. She said they can turn pretty much into anything for any reason. Return pretty much anything for any reason. Okay, so the returns for no reason and dealing with those jerks. Costco does that too, and there's some trashy people who, there was some lady I saw who like a year or two after she bought a couch returned it because she didn't like the color. She was changing her paint in her house. Yeah, we talked about that. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, that woman is a jerk. I would never do that. And by letting people know that, Costco is telling everybody, I don't want to be at a place like that where people do that, you know? A liberal return policy is nice, but not that. That's obscene and wrong. And it victimizes all the customers, in my opinion. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. A few more nice little things for this Trader Joe's cashier to complain about us and our bad habits. Share yours. What are the bad habits you see of shoppers out and about at 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. And then also, coming up next, we are going to get into, remember the president looked at his watch a couple times while the Afghanistan people that were killed because of Joe Biden's choice in his withdrawal and letting the terrorists free to kill them. He looked at his watch several times. His former spokesperson, Jen Psaki, said no, he never did. And she gets nailed about that. All that's next on the Chris Crock Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Talking about this Trader Joe's cashier, and she is saying how bad some customers can be. Here's some of her things she shares with. By the way, I would not. I would have to fire her if she's doing this. She's criticizing the customers, taking pictures of herself, looking how awesome she is at work at Trader Joe's. You know, in the employee rooms and other. It's like, what do you? I would fire her, wouldn't you? Yeah, you're attacking the customers, saying what bothers you about them, and you're posting from pictures at work with your name tag. You're out. Anyways, crew members are not flirting with you. We are judging you for not bagging your groceries or putting your cart back. Yeah, I don't want to flirt with you anyways. Thank you. This fall seasonal items are the bane of our existence, but fall stuff starts beginning of September. This woman thinks she's a celebrity in these pictures. She's not. She's a kid who's being a punk. At the register, you can return pretty much anything for any reason. Then don't, if you don't like their policies, don't work there for returns. Anytime you buy flowers, you can ask for a bucket with water to keep them fresh. Why is she complaining about the services they provide for their customers, right? I think she's complaining about her employer here, not the people. You can try anything at the demo station before you buy it. Why is that a problem? Honestly, she just doesn't like how her employer does her business. They should fire her immediately with this. There's a morning truck for the perishables, and there's a night truck for the frozen and shelfable stuff we stock all the time. This woman's whining about her job. She needs to be fired. That's all. All right, I'm done with her. She's annoyed me. Okay. Wow. She's attacking the store's customer service. What they do, they go all above and beyond. And she's a perfect pro-terrorist protester. I don't know what her position is on that, but she's probably free Palestine, stop the genocide. Yes, free Palestine, not from Hamas, but free Palestine from nothing. All right, 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Jen Psaki, the former spokesperson for Joe Biden administration, who now has her own show on fake news MSNBC, literally has a new book out, and she lies and she claims that Joe Biden never looked at his watch, when in fact he looked at his watch twice, as 13 U.S. soldiers that were killed because of Joe Biden. Joe Biden got them killed. It was Joe Biden that killed them. Terrorists did not kill them. Joe Biden did. Joe Biden chose to do an Afghanistan withdrawal that was not ready and didn't meet any conditions to unilaterally withdrawal. Joe Biden chose to free thousands of terrorists from Bagram Air Force Base jail a night or two earlier. One of those two, they were ISIS, K, and Al-Qaeda terrorists that filled that prisoners that all of our soldiers had captured. Joe Biden freed them all when he abandoned Bagram Air Force Base, and 2 or 3 days later, those terrorists, one of them, an ISIS-K terrorist, within a day or 2 or 3, strapped a bomb on his chest, walked up and blew up Abbey Gate Bridge because Joe Biden set him free so that he could kill our people. And you must never forgive Joe Biden for killing them, and you must never forgive him for looking at his watch, being annoyed with them for dying because he killed them. That's who he is. I can't say the things that are coming to my mind about him. So Jen Psaki lied in her book, just like Joe Biden's been lying, saying that inflation was at 9% when he took over for office. It was at 1.4. He said it again in an interview today. The man literally, he's either lying knowing that it was 1.4, but he brought it to 9, or he literally is so incompetent and such an idiot that and so far gone on his mind that the leftist trolls that run his administration, the socialists, say, Joe, just tell them it was 9. They won't know. They're too stupid. Amazing. Anyway, Psaki claims in her new book that Joe Biden never looked at his watch during the ceremony for the soldiers that were killed from Joe Biden's withdrawal and freeing of the terrorists to kill him. In TV ads and social media posts, Donald Trump and his allies repeatedly show him looking at his watch. Psaki's book, Axios says, is an instance of current former Biden administration officials downplaying or misrepresenting controversies from the Afghanistan withdrawal. There you go, make up lies. In her new book, Psaki writes, the president looked at his watch only after the ceremony had ended. Lie. She says moments later, he and the First Lady walked towards their car. Lie. Reality check. Even liberal Axios says reality check. Psaki's new account is at odds with fact checks at the time. News agencies' photos from the ceremony at Dover Air Force Base and on the record statements from Gold Star families who were there. That's 3 sources. Fact checks, photographs, and Gold Star families, witnesses. The Associated Press photographer on the tarmac snapped 2 photos of Biden looking at his watch twice, 10 minutes apart, as fact-checkers at USA Today and Snopes noted soon afterwards. She mistakenly cited a passage from the Washington Post, which is a lie from Jeff Bezos' liberal paper. The sentences she quoted from USA Today's fact-check article, not the Post. So she lied, and she carried it on, and Psaki initially declined to comment. She's like, no, I stand by my lie. Nope. After this story was published, she said in a statement the detail in a few lines of the book about the exact number of times he looked at his watch will be removed. She printed it with a lie. She knew it was a lie, and now she's changing it in future books. Yeah, that's our White House under Joe Biden. Kill him, look at your watch, and then lie. Good job. Good to see she's still Baghdad Bob for you, Joe. But you got to be honest. As bad as Circleback Psaki was, she's 100 times better than this box-checking idiot they have on now, isn't she? Oh, my gosh. Wow. This woman is a profound idiot in charge now of talking for the White House. It's unbelievable how bad she is. Holy gosh, is she bad. She's so bad she's good for us. I like it because she's so pathetic. She's a parody of herself. It's awesome. A grand failure and who pats herself on the back and thinks she's so awesome. Spectacular failure. It's like Joe Biden preening over Afghanistan when it was the worst disaster of all time for an administration to start out with. It's unbelievable. It was worse than the Iranian hostage crisis under Jimmy Carter, because it was a direct choice. Screw it, let's do it, let's kill them all, and then I'm going to preen about it. Did Carter preen about what he did? It cost him the election. It was a disaster. Did Carter preen about that? I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. I was in my mom's womb, I think, at the time, or I was a year old. Okay. So, and by the way, at the time of the withdrawal, Biden praised the, quote, extraordinary success of this mission. That's what I'm talking about. He's preening. Wow. Okay, so there you go. She lied and she got caught, and the book stays. She can't recall it, but she's going to make the rest of them, she's going to take it out, not mention it. Do you believe that Biden looked at his watch? And also, what does this tell you about Joe Biden? That's the biggest question of it all. Do you believe he looked at his watch twice, as there was the dignified transfer of these beloved soldiers who were killed because Joe Biden got them killed from terrorists he freed? And what does this tell you about Joe Biden? I think that's the best thing I'd like to hear from you, is what does this tell you about Joe Biden? A man who got them killed, who set the terrorists free to kill them, created the situation and set them free, and then killed them and then preened about it. And he looked at his watch twice as they're over 13 minutes or 10 minutes as the bodies were being wheeled in, and the Gold Star families were right there in front of him. He didn't care. I mean, this is just trash right here. What does this tell you about Joe Biden? I'll tell you what it tells me about him, and you can tell me what it tells you about him, too. Coming up next on The Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3. And I have a great, great story about Biden finally drawing a larger crowd than Trump. How could it be? What was it? It'll make you laugh. That's next. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset. 800-288-WBAP is the number. 800-288-9227. And woo! Yo! Okay, the Joe Biden finally draws a larger crowd than Trump. It's true. This from the Babylon Bee. This is on my Twitter feed. You can retweet it. You should. This is out of El Paso. We drew a larger crowd. Mainstream media has been heaping praise on Biden for finally drawing a bigger crowd than Trump. Hundreds of thousands of illegals are gathered in El Paso because of Joe Biden. Truly historic numbers we're seeing. Trump could never get this many people at his biggest rallies. Gushed fake news CNN Anderson Cooper, the Bee, reports. This is an incredible moment for Biden. He's resonating with the American people. Well, anyway, it's clear his policies are making a real difference. Yes, they are. Okay. That's obviously a joke, but it's very accurate, isn't it? Man, in New Jersey, Trump had what? Now, the estimates were 100,000, but actually the five people in the afternoon, Jesse, whatever his name, Waters, said 30,000. 30,000 is what he understands the numbers were. So 30,000 is incredible still. Here we go.
Officially play in the state of New Jersey. We're going to win the state of New Jersey. You could take the 10 worst presidents in the history of our country, add them up. They haven't done the damage to our country that this total moron has done.
Yes, that was very nice, too. I like that, by the way. Total moron. That's exactly right. Okay, now we also have this. Common driving habits that are a common driving habit, one habit, that reveals or indicates somebody might be a sociopath. Or psychopath, not sociopath, psychopath. Are you a psychopath? This is the one driving habit that would determine if you're a psychopath. Are you ready? People with psychopathic traits are more likely to use their phones while driving. They're also more likely than average to have committed a driving offense. This is from the research of the University of Regensburg. Significant correlation between psychopathic traits and using your mobile phone behind the wheel. I might be. Then they show a picture of the guy from American Psycho, that movie. Remember that? Oh my gosh. Yes, Yes, Christian Bale, Patrick Bateman. That's exactly right. Thank you. Good job, producer Garrett. That's exactly what it says in the caption. You're quicker than I am. And that was a generation movie from my generation, I think, more likely. Yeah, 2000s. Okay, yeah. Well, okay, your generation too, I suppose. Anyways, it seems like it's been forever. Drivers who tested highly for dark personality traits, Machiavellianism, narcissism, psychopathy, were much more likely to use their phones and feel less guilty about it. Wow. Yes. Okay. Lower levels of empathy. Psychopathy is lower levels of empathy, remorse for actions, often prone to taking significant risks or impulsive actions. Wow. Machiavellianism, manipulative and self-interested, ruthless, exploitative behavior with a lack of morality. Woo! These are not good people to be around. They're not good people. Narcissism, subclinical, higher levels of self-interest or grandiosity associated with selfish or self-seeking behaviors. Well, that makes sense to me because they're all about themselves. Screw you. I'm driving my car and I'm going to text or talk. Lottery winner. I love this one. This is great. You think this is fake. It writes itself. Lottery winner sued by his family after reneging on a promise to share $1 billion windfall. Your family is suing you for not sharing what you promised to share? But contractually, that doesn't mean anything. Promising to bless somebody with your winnings and then not doing it is not a lawsuit. It's just somebody who promised something they couldn't keep, and it's your decision if you want to be their friend or loved one or not, or be estranged to them. Unidentified Maine man. Not, hey, he's my main man. No. Maine as in lobster, Maine. Won a mega... Producer Garrett smiled at that. Won a Mega Millions jackpot worth over $1 billion. Last year, he sued the mom of his daughter. Well, he's got a baby mama. That's his problem right there, whether he's got millions or billions or not. Last year, he sued the baby mama of his daughter, his baby mama, for revealing his new status. His father has scolded him for not keeping his word in the aftermath of the win. Wow. Here's the thing, though, because... did he promise her before he won it or after he won it? If you promise it after you win it, that's really bad. But you don't sue him over that. That's pathetic. The father of the winner, former police chief, now in his 70s, wrote in a sworn declaration his son misled him after telling of his lottery win. Whoa! His own dad threw him under the bus. It's got to be a rough family. The father says he told his son himself that his father and stepmom he told the father and stepmom about his lottery win. Her lawyers claim it shatters the remaining shards of this lawsuit. So our relationship deteriorated quickly. I made the mistake of telling my father I'd won the lottery without having him sign a confidentiality agreement. Well, I mean, it's your dad. I don't know if I could do that to my dad. I would just have to trust him. I mean, dude, come on. I understand my son has stated he told me nothing about his money other than the single simple fact that I had won. That's not true. He told me he was going to build me a garage, buy me some. This is really bad. Okay, the dad's a dirtbag, too. That's why his son's a dirtbag. I mean, you know, you tell your son, listen, if you want to give me something great, I don't want to hear what you're going to do for me. You know what? Isn't that a good way to say it? Listen, I know hindsight's easy for me to talk about this like I'm Mr. Expert, but I think if your son, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Son, take care of yourself. If you want to bless me down the road, I will probably take it, but I don't want to hear anything. Just you take care of yourself. If you want to do something one day, great, but don't tell me until you do it, because then it's done. You know, and honestly, look, you know our parents, you know your parents and mine, if they're good. Some of us have bad parents, and I'm sorry that you have that if you do. Your parents are always helping you out. They're always being overly protective and generous of you, even as an adult. I know that for a fact. You know, I'm kind of spoiled from mine. But, and I know what they would say is, just do what you need to do. We're fine. We don't need any help. And I would still bless them, but it would be something that I would do as a kind of a surprise. I would tell them. I think this is a highly dysfunctional family, and that's why there's an issue, and that's why they're suing, which is like, you don't sue your loved one if he promised something and doesn't do it. That's obscene. That's stupid. It's a bad family. Bad family dynamic, y'all.